Fallschirm Jaegers are chasing. Canadians infantry section are going to be like, surprise, around the corner. He might actually lose it, but Wirbelwind coming in to save him. Hey guys, remember to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and hey, go one step further, become a channel member. Any support you guys give is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, I'm Greyshot17, and I'm bringing you a Company of Heroes 3 replay. This is one of a smaller scale, a 1v1 scale, but hey, you want to cover the 1v1 side so that way you can cover and see what essential strategies are being used, right? Because again, it's good to see, while their tactics do differ between 1v1 and 4v4, 1v1 bounce guys will still affect the 4v4 crowd. So I always like to check in and check out games to see what's going on. NTZ, thanks for the follow. We got ourselves Gary, of course, versus Yorgo. Fun fact, I have a Gorgo shirt. There you go. So I don't know who Yorgo is, but I know Gorgo. It's either a giant monster that destroys London in search for her child, or it's a little, how would I describe it? Like, it's a little creature with 2 eyes and no mouth that when he pees on you, it'll heal all wounds. So, you know, sure, why not? Anyway, there's literally a scene where it's like, we must save this person in a very emotional moment, so this thing pees on him. Great stuff. Great stuff. Anyway, I'm just laughing on the inside now. If you have a replay that doesn't have any of that, submit to my Gmail or Discord. There we go. That's how I'm diverting. So, we got ourselves defenses in place for engineers in a dingo, with the Germans pumping out not 1, not 2, not 3. Actually, we do have 3. Pioneers and a Grenadier. Alright, also going Luftwaffe. We also have Canadians. So we have the German airborne units essentially versus the British Canadian forces. Alright, Pioneers are going to be overwhelmed by the Royal Engineer, but they're being now supported by Grenadier, and we have an airdrop of a Fallschirm Pioneer. There we go, if I can talk. Well, the Pioneer is actually really low. This man dies in the building. He was meant to die, guys. Absolutely, that man was meant to die. Dingo opening fire on the Grenadiers from the side. Royal Engineer is forced back thanks to sustained fire. This other squad will probably be pushed back by the other 2. Dingo is lighting up the Grenadier. No, doesn't look like that worked out all that great. And yeah, he's gonna pull back. Alright. Dingo's trying its best. It will probably keep the Pioneers at bay, but Fallschirm Pioneers, it has to deal with the men in the building. Unfortunately for the building guys, there's only 1 window, so I don't know how it's gonna win against that when they are firing all 4 against him. So not the best move, Yorgo. Yorgo, by the way, does have 2 infantry squads, 2 engineers, and the Dingo, where Gary is down, but don't worry, he's gonna at least even the playing field by getting himself another Fallschirm Pioneer. Sure. To be fair, they're pretty good with the grenade launchers. I've seen them effective in units with cover, and because of the distance between that shot and the what's it called? The distance between the grenade launcher and the target, a lot of the times they can stay out of fire and let other units be hit, and then just keep noob tubing from a distance. So let's see, infantry section. We have the Canadian unlocked. We have a cheap AT gun. Gary can call in. That'd be pretty good with the Pioneers. Just get that on the field, so that way the Dingo can have something to have to worry about, or hover potentially, or whatever light vehicles the British player decides to pump out. In cover. Oh, we have a satchel? Hold on. Give me a big boom. We get an explosion. Almost kills the Royal Engineer, but luckily he does pull back in the nick of time. Dingo does pull back. Right now, map control, because of the sustained combat in mid, Gary has drawn a lot of Yorgo's forces in that sector and has captured other areas. For the most part, this victory point is under his control. But I would say over 50% of the map is under Gary's control, allowing him to get 28 fuel. Whereas in 36 munitions, where Yorgo is 20 and 18, not so great for him. We have a drop of that light AT gun coming on in back at his base, so he's able to, you know, get something to, again, fight light armor, like I mentioned. So that's pretty good. We have double Grenadier, double Falchion Pioneer, double Pioneer. Now, just if you keep getting 2s, that would be great. Double AT guns. I don't know if that's effective, but, you know, it would help with the double thing going on right now. Heck, I just watched Totally Not Mark's video on Gravity Falls and about how I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say twins are a big part of the show, given the main characters are twins. And he himself had twins about like 2 weeks before making that video and watching the show. So that it's like, oh, okay, weird coincidence. But yeah, just keep doubling up if you don't mind. And since also I find it funny because I'm a twin, so there you go. Nice Faust and AT gun shot knocks out the Dingo. Now it looks like Yorgo's gonna have some big issues, given the fact that he is now outmanned pretty solidly. Infantry section is trying to hold the line, but is not doing well. Royal Engineers as well being pushed back. Again, Gary's still just grabbing territory elsewhere. So Yorgo looks like he's going to be on the back foot. I don't see how long this game is going to go unless the Brits actually come back with something fierce. Fuel-wise, manpower-wise, it is just not looking great. But, Yorgo, I'm sure you have something up your sleeve. I'm sure you'll turn the tide and turn things around. But yeah, right now, if you're trying to overwhelm the enemy, it looks like Grenadiers with the cheap AT gun and the Falchion Pioneers, especially because they place mines. Great kill right there. Damn, I wasn't expecting it to die, but I just saw the mine. But yeah, that seems to be a solid way to keep the enemy on the back foot. Again, I will say it's not like clear doom for the British player. It's just leaning toward doom. Border coming on in to keep the pressure on the enemy base. We got ourselves a, again, the Falchion Pioneer still over there, mind you, and the Brit, no way to heal actively. So we have 9 units for the Wehrmacht, aka Gary, versing 4 for the Brits. Yeah, it's not looking good for a little Yorgo over here. But maybe we have something changed. Maybe somehow he turns the tide. I mean, he's grabbing this victory point, and he's grabbing the manpower point over here. This point will at least help him stay connected to, well, this munitions and the victory point. If it wasn't for Gary decapping the fuel, and probably will decap this here in another minute. Alrighty. So if I am Yorgo in this situation, what do I do? Run. That's a good idea. No, but what he's actually planning on doing is... Wait. Okay, what he's planning is bring out a Hubber. And to be fair, if the AT gun is on the other side of the map and not focusing on anything, not a bad idea. As long as he keeps his distance, he can overwhelm the enemy, and he could potentially chase down the Falchion Pioneer and get the kill that way. That would help even things out a little bit. The AT gun is still pretty far away, and this Falchion Pioneer is so far in the opposite direction that he might be able to chase it. Now it looks like pathfinding, for whatever reason, didn't help him out there. Royal Engineers are going to try their best to help, and looks like they do get at least another model. Grenadiers are giving chase. Can they save their comrade in arms? We had to say that for German players, but looks like they do. They come in close. Hubber is unable to chase and get the kill. But meanwhile, we also have a Canadian unit on the field, and that is a very strong unit that could absolutely help turn the tide. Grenade didn't do anything there. But, Grenade does drop fire, so if Grenadiers do charge, they will take some fire damage. Hubber is just blasting these units from afar. We now have the AT gun up to assist. The other thing I will say is that Gary currently has a decent amount of munitions. Not saying he will do this, but mines could, again, we already saw earlier, you place mines in pretty good positions. Mines could be something he could use to really help himself out at, you know, stopping the Hubber dead in its tracks. Hubber needs to keep running, by the way. Grenade is thrown. Gonna launch fire and knock out the AT gun, which would allow the Hubber an easy opportunity to assist. But again, you probably don't want to, because the fire will eventually give out, and the Grenadiers could easily man that. Honestly, he could heal himself, and then just take it, and then just, potentially reinforce? Yeah, he could potentially just up this up. Well, actually, how many men can that hold? Yeah, 4. Okay, yeah. So then he retreats that unit, and now he still has 2 good units on the field. So that's a nice thing about the Vermont player. You can, kind of like with in CoH3, cut your men down, fill out the ranks so that way you have 2 good squads for 2 different purposes, rather than, you know, a Grenadier squad. It's like, okay, I could, you know, maybe have that, but if the enemy armor comes, I'm screwed. Well, now he has an AT gun to guard it, and his Vet 2 squad, the better squad out of the 2, is now in a good position to fight. Hubber is opening fire, but the AT gun once positioned could easily take that on. The British forces are launching attack elsewhere against Pioneers. AT gun shot misses. Fallschirmjäger dropping in the back lines. This thing does have a Faust, and he's getting very close to it. That had to be a misclick. I am like 90% sure that was a misclick. Because Fallschirmjägers have Fausts, and he could have Fausted this and been fine. I think he misclicked. I'm pretty sure he misclicked. Damn it, Gary. Anyway, Grenadiers moving on over. Hubber trying to reposition. Infantry section making headway on the other side of the field. Because remember, all the Grenadier stuff are on that side. It looks like, at the very least, they'll be able to push up and grab some very key territory from fuel, munitions, etc. by pushing south. Now, will he be able to deal with the Grenadiers and everything else? Maybe not. AT gun almost gets a shot onto that Hubber, but alas is unable to. Hubber, by the way, only has 120 points of health. Honestly, if that AT gun shot would have connected, it probably would have killed it. So, very lucky he didn't lose that. He did lose the MG right outside of his base. Unfortunate. Canadians could probably grab that and pull it back. They could also probably beat the Grenadiers. I don't know. They're in good cover. We'll see. He definitely needs heals. British forces are taking mid. They're also pushing in the south. Almost grabbed this position, but walked out at the worst possible time. Canadians are putting pressure on the Falchion Pioneers, but we have more Grenadiers and an MG repositioning to assist in this sector. But victory point wise, while the Brit is down by 140 points, it's not as down as you might think, right? It could be a lot worse. So, anyway, Grenadiers are in solid cover. Canadians are opening fire. Grenade is thrown where he was, not where he is going. Hubber opening fire on the Falchion Pioneers. Enough fire to force him back. Germans fire their own grenade and does absolutely nothing. I think I was going to say it was a smoke grenade by how much dust it shot up into the air. But that was an actual grenade, and it did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Great stuff. Alright, Hubber trying to keep the pressure on him. AT gun making its slow trek onto the other side of the field. Maybe a second AT gun again would have helped. Hey, continue on with the double. Did more than the Fallschirmjäger, that's for sure. Infantry section has to fight all this now with the Fallschirmjäger, and there's no way in hell he's going to win that fight. German forces are somehow still fighting around the base, but they haven't captured this territory, surprisingly. He doesn't have the resources realistically to throw another grenade, because you want to kind of save that for in case you need it. So it looks like Gary, once again upgrading his troops, will hold this sector right outside the enemy base. Will pretty much take mid and defeat the Yorgo's army in the south. That said, Yorgo still has a decent army. He has 2 FG section, he has 2 Canadians, an MG, double Royal Engineers, and a Hubber. So, right now, I'm actually kind of questioning what the hell Gary's up to. Because Gary here has this thing called fuel. I don't know if you guys know this, but fuel allows you to get armor. And tanks would probably be pretty good against a player that has no AT guns. But for whatever reason, Gary has decided not to get that. He has the unlocks. He could get himself a Whirlwind. But no, he does not want to get one for whatever reason. Honestly, a Whirlwind I think would be fantastic, given the fact that, well, you're basically fighting an infantry army. But what do I know? He's building himself a concrete bunker. Wait, what? Why are you building yourself a concrete bunker? Okay, also, I learned this the hard way, but this is only 150 manpower. A bunker is going to be, I'm assuming you're building the bunker because you want to get the medical upgrade, right? But, like, the bunker itself is 175, and this is now 70, when you could have just had this for 150. Again, they purposely made it cheaper to not have the fuel impact, because a lot of people were mad about the fuel impact. So if this is for manpower, I don't know. If this is to heal armor, doesn't make any sense, because you have no armor. So Gary, I'm questioning your motives here. I'm questioning. Alright, there is an AT gun, a 6-pounder being brought up, because rightly so, Yorgo is probably like, well, the enemy has to have AT guns at this point. I'm sorry, not AT guns. They have to have armor coming out. But no. Not yet. And it's not like Gary is going to unlock a King Tiger or a Tiger or a Panther or a Wesp. That's not a thing for this battle group. It's just not. And especially when you've so decisively have impacted the enemy fuel, it is shocking that you are not trying to take advantage with the one thing you have. Canadians continue to fight. It looks like with additional Canadian support, they should be able to overwhelm that Falchion Pioneer and force the enemy away. Right now, it's an army, like, they're pretty much even in army size now. And Gary's still under the... Wait, is he building another... No, he's just upgrading the medical bunker. Again, do not do this. It is not worth it anymore. Do not upgrade this. Just get the one back at your base. You will thank me like... okay, the only thing I can think of is, like, he wants the units mobile. So with the healing ring around this, he could walk to base and then walk out healing. But again, that's still 25 extra fuel and tons of munitions. So I question this man's sanity right now. I question it. Oh, not sanity, but his choices. He seems to be making mostly rational decisions. Alright, Canadian forces are opening fire on the Falchion Jaegers along with the Grenadier. Grenade is thrown to stop any further advancing and also brings down the wall. I'm sure the people who lived in the house will greatly appreciate the fact that they'll come back and they'll be like, oh yeah, that wall, that was destroyed for no reason. Halber opening fire on the Falchion the Falchion Pioneers. MG also lighting it up. Might want to focus on this because it does have that AT component to it. Also, it's anti-infantry, holding back blobs. Halber forces it back. AT gun lined up to hit the Halber. Gets a shot on target. Halber slowly backing on up. Went forward to go back. Okay. Up in the northern position, it looks like the MG in the building is being hit by the flamethrower. But the flamethrower is being suppressed. He's going to probably keep it in there in the sunk cost fallacy, but I don't think the MG's going to... Well, now it's just... Oh, no, he actually lived. Okay. I was like, please tell me he's not going to just sacrifice an MG. The Falchion Pioneer might get on the retreat. But looks like he gets out. Grenadiers are holding on to the munition points. Victory points holding on... is holding pretty soundly thanks to the Falchion Pioneer. So victory point wise, more pressures on the Brits than the Germans. Again, can we try to... honestly, it would be great if we had a situation where we actually had some armor. Oh my god, he got a Whirlwind. Guys, he did it. He did it. He lost a unit. He lost his Falchion Pioneers, but still, he got it, guys. He got armor. Good job, Gary. I know you can do it. Damn, for someone who was so decisive in the beginning with how effective he was pushing back the enemy, it is kind of, it's flabbergasting he took this long to get armor. We're 19 minutes in, and he's held most of the fuel points for so long. Well, sending Grenadiers, Falchion Pioneer, Falchion Makers, MG, and also the Pioneer managed to clear out the British forces in the southern portion of the map. Whirlwind's moving north. Oh, back the British force there. The British force has an AT gun, as I mentioned before, but it's elsewhere. It's like pretty... Well, okay, if he charges and chases, then he might get it, but looks like no, Whirlwind's going to back off. British are going to take mid. And again, every time they take the point, it helps them out with better combat stats. So good job, I guess. He's also looking at Piot, so at least he has something to fight the Whirlwind with his infantry. At least for the Canadians. AT gun also coming on up, but it'll take a while for it to get there. Hubber's still alive. I truly thought this thing would have died a while ago, but good for your go for keeping it alive. Although a little luck was on your side with the AT gun shot. Right here, trying to get close. Okay. You gonna Faust him? You do Faust him. And the AT gun kills him. There we go. Immediately said, Hubber, man, I'm surprised it lived that long. 2 seconds later, gets KO'd. Alright, at least it died. So there goes one light armor from the British perspective. And, again, Gary will hold the south. Middle, Grenadiers will hold that. Bolshevik going after the AT gun, which is unfortunately positioned behind a wall, or sorry, front of a wall, so it has to go all the way around in order to escape. Bolshevik, Jaegers are chasing. Canadians infantry section are going to be like, surprise, around the corner. He might actually lose it, but Whirlwind coming in to save him. AT gun is also going to be coming around the corner. He doesn't have a grenade. Doesn't look like it anyway. Nice shot with the Whirlwind on taking out the British infantry and holding on to the middle fuel. Again, good job for Gary, but again, I really thought this would have been wrapped up sooner. So Gary has a very dominant position, but, well, my only question... Oh, okay, here we go. We got Martyr on the field. Interesting choice, but hey. Wait, hold on, Gary. Gary, why are you not going infantry reserves? That would save you way more manpower. That could help you out with your armor situation. Gary, what are you doing, Gary? I feel like I'm a SpongeBob yelling at Gary. Gary! Alright, but yeah, also, fragmentation bomb? Not a bad idea. I know a lot of people like to Stuka-loiter. I understand that versus armor, but my god, fragmentation bombs are so good against infantry. So damn good. Oh, okay. Now I know what Yorgo was saving up for. I didn't even realize how much fuel he had. He got himself a Crocodile. AT gun, via the Martyr, is having a real rough time. Or sorry, I guess Tank Destroyer. Having a real tough time cracking that Crocodile's front armor. AT gun is still not put up to full manpower support, but it's fine. 2 models is good enough to use the unit. British forces are taking over the northern sector, which is probably where the Whirlwind is going to go. Martyr, be very careful with that 6-pounder right there. British forces could also try to push up. Crocodile is going to bust through. Never mind. He nudged it enough to destroy some plants. Great. Thank you for trimming that hedge, but if you could be so kind and help your allied forces, that would be wonderful. Well, Gary, luckily sees the situation. He deploys not one, but he's deployed a second Martyr, so at least there's 2 on the field. Canadian forces do have their Piots, so they have an effective means to deal with that armor. All right.
Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
Let's see. But yeah, having a Croc on the field is kind of shocking. I mean, it's good. It's really good for Yorgo.
We are to be commanded. The enemy is down to 100 points.
But unfortunately for him, he needs victory points like now. All right, here comes the Croc. Fallschirmjäger taking the full brunt of the fire, and again, fire is extra deadly. I think he might lose the unit. Nope, he turns to fight the Grenadiers. Nothing is gonna shoot him on the way out, so yeah, he'll live to fight another day. Martyrs are, like, again, in a position where it's like you probably should have moved a little sooner. All right, luckily a good Faust will stun him for a moment. He's not gonna have engine issues. Canadian force is still there. Nice grenade kills the Falchion Pioneer. This guy doesn't have the Piot launcher, but if he did, he could flank it. This one does have the Piot. Martyr's opening fire. He's gonna fire the Martyrs and actually cause them to have some debuffs. That's fun. There's still the AT gun there. Canadians could throw an AT grenade. Nice shot with the 6-pounder and the Croc holding their own against the Martyr threat. Martyr does somehow dodge the shot. This man is about to die thanks to the whirlwind. Oh my god, he lives. The Canadians live! They took horrific casualties, but they do live. Alright. So we'll continue on. Right now, okay, if I'm Gary, what do I... Oh, okay, Gary got the manpower. He just got the Stuka Loiter. That's fine. You have a Croc, makes sense. You're dealing with that. Understandable. He also is doubling down with the Martyrs, deciding, you know what? The only way I'm going to beat that Croc is with solid amounts of tank destroyers opening fire and overwhelming his armor advantage. Sure. Again, you need to worry about potentially Canadian forces with Piat, especially as... well, okay, I take that back. I thought Gary was Yorgo. Yorgo still doesn't have too much munitions, but it could be an issue if he gets more Piats. Because that could easily hamper the Martyrs, among other stuff, because Martyrs aren't exactly known for their speed. Oh, you got in a building with a Crocodile. You sweet summer child, you. Okay, never mind. He just went across. I was like, you really want to do that? You know what happens with the flamethrower? Alright, the LG-40 is having a bit of issue penetrating that Croc. Again, it's not meant to fight that type of armor, but that last shot did pierce. Again, the Croc has like, what, 1,400 health? So it'll take a lot of shots for the AT gun to wear it down. Flamethrower hurting the Canadians in the south, but Canadians still doing relatively well. Royal Engineer grabbing the middle victory point. The northern one, you have Canadians and the British over here firing. It looks like he doesn't have AT grenades for the Brits, if I had to say. Whirlwind hitting the infantry with white phosphor shot, forcing them back. We're at 48 points, and the pressure's still on the Brits. Right now, it's going to be up to the Canadians taking out this Fallschirmjäger squad. And we're off. Canadians advance. They throw a grenade on the Fallschirmjäger. Fallschirmjägers close the gap. They're both being affected by the debuff. Grenade is thrown on the Canadians. Grenade is effective. Forces the Canadians back. Fallschirmjäger wins the battle. Nice and decisive with Fallschirmjägers not losing any models with that attack. Looks like we do have a large army moving into mid. The Croc is mostly healed, though I would say missing about like 200 health. Again, this thing has so much health that it's not too much. Croc is hurting this, but Double Martyr is opening fire. Now, luckily a smoke attack is coming on in, which is helping, at least for the moment. It was a smoke raid operation? Is that it? But it's this, or it's covering smoke. Anyway, it smokes. Oh, no, it's covering smoke. It smokes the enemy forces. Grenade is thrown, forcing the Grenadiers back. Engineers still have to fight the... Oh, they still have to fight the Fallschirm Pioneer with the LNG. Damn. Okay, so we just got pure damage in that way. Meanwhile, the MG took this position. It's going to get in the building. There is a drop coming on in and a whirlwind coming on up. AT gun is still there. Just needs to move up a little bit. Large force coming on up. The Croc is out of commission for the time being. Yorgo might be overwhelmed the defenses here. Gary is not paying attention. He is microing in the north against the MG and satchels it. Destroy it. He is not focused on the south. And Canadian forces launched 2 successful Piats at one of the Martyrs, almost killing it. Can he get a third off? If he does, that would be a nice little win. He's still losing in the victory point battle, but every armored unit he can kill will help him survive to fight another day. Because again, that's less that Gary can just throw in the counterattack. Hell, that shot, heck of a hit on the Martyr, forcing it back. Again, you don't necessarily want to bring in a half-dead unit. Croc is undergoing emergency repairs where the Royal Engineers desperately trying to get back in action. Infantry section is unable to hold and will probably die. Alright, but we have artillery that was called in at the last second in order for the British to not lose this position. It is do or die with 13 points remaining. The British are going to let the enemy have it with everything they have, but the nice thing about Gary is he pulled all of his forces back, and he's just hitting him with range. Royal Engineers do not have the range to fight that. Now he's getting close for, I'm assuming, a Faust attack? Or no, he's trying to take the position. fire is going to kill that Grenadier. Vet 3 unit is destroyed. Burned to death, unfortunately. Remaining British forces are nowhere in sight. AIT gun is still covering the north. But now he has forces coming on up. The Croc cannot really take the Martyr chasing him down. But the Grenadier is also in a position where they really can't take much infantry. So it's really just a last attempt to hold on to the victory point. But I think this might be it. I think the British will be unable to capture this point in time. And they will lose the game. But we shall see. It looks like they're capping it pretty quick. You're gonna have, what, 8 points, I assume? Yep, 8 points. Canadians stop the decap. Or stop the cap, I should say. Or the countdown. There we go. Countdown. There we go. We'll go with that word. 8 points remain for the Brits. 451 for the Germans. It's not looking good for the Brits, but they have lasted a hell of a lot longer than I thought given the opening battle. Another Martyr has come on out. I mean, Gary has 500 fuel. This man is swimming in fuel. Or the other, thank you, Rocksteady. Where the other, there's probably other German commanders being like, we have no armor. I have no fuel. What am I gonna do? And then you have Gary being like, what? Oh, I don't have fuel to give. I really, look, I just don't. I'm using all of it right now. I'm using all of it. And behind him is like mountains of fuel drums. All this is gonna be used, I swear. Alright, it's decapped. As soon as the Germans take this, it will be GG. Well played by Yorgo. It was a close fight. But alas, the fight will have to come to an end. Or will it? Looks like a mine? No. An MG stops the decap in the south. Prevents that from occurring. We have British forces desperately trying and sacrificing themselves, by the look of it, to hold on to that point. Long enough for the Croc, which is also healing as it moves, to move on in. I think this is it. The British is losing too many men. He'll be unable to push up. I mean, Fallschirmjäger is going to die, so that's a Vet 3 unit gone. But he... Oh, wait! Croc quickly decapping the... Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? And he's a Crocodile is single-handedly fighting all this. He's using fire to debuff the art. Again, I just love it. And he's pulling away. AT gun lined up. If he gets shot, he could definitely hurt those units. Canadians with the Piot! AT gun, not in position to, maybe he can hurt the Martyr. Oh, he's suppressed. He's using the white phosphorus. Well, it was a good last gasp. But alas, he was unable to win the battle. Yorgo, I'll give you credit for trying to fight all that. You know, you give it your best, but alas, unable to. And yeah, German forces pushing elsewhere. I think that's GG. Again, it was a good last attempt. MG. Oh wow, if he just would have moved over with the Drudgeneers, he probably would have been fine. But yeah, it's GG. Gary submitted this replay, by the way. And you know what, Gary, you did well. You should have probably got the Whirlwind out sooner. But I thought it was still a good game. Honestly, Yorgo holding on. Like, he did his absolute best given the situation. And I thought he did pretty well. Both sides sacrificed units. Let me be very clear with that. But yeah, the Croc was a good choice. Whirlwind as well did pretty solid stuff. So can't complain. I just think that Gary did very well dominating the first part. Yorgo tried, and Gary kind of left an opening, which Yorgo exploited. Luckily, Yorgo didn't have the victory points, so Gary was able to use that to his advantage. But yeah, there's a situation here where Yorgo could have probably made a decent comeback. Luckily, Gary got his stuff together, got the tank destroyers, and was able to hold his own. So good job, Gary. Thank you for submitting the replay to the CoH3 website, and I pulled it there. So thank you. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. Make sure to submit it if you want me to cover stuff. Otherwise it's kind of a crapshoot for that website. If you want me to make sure I cover your replay, submit to my Gmail or Discord, and I'll try to do exactly that. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you support the channel if you can. It's been Greyshot17. I'll see you guys next time.
Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tonybee 95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.